Good morning, Taste Buds. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein. Luckily, we live in a mango-rich environment, and luckily, I'm a chef rich in mango recipes. So join me today for a bunch of mango recipes that honor this SoFlo treat. Today on SoFlo Taste. How fun is that? Once again, it's time for SoFlo Taste. As always, I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein, and as always, this is the Goya Kitchen at JA World in Coconut Creek. And happily, once again, it's mango time finally in South Florida, so I thought it would be fun to give you some of my best recipes for these juicy orbs of sweetness. So let's get cooking. Let's do a green mango salad because green mangoes are very delicious. And I love green papaya salad, so I thought maybe I'd turn this salad into a green mango salad in the Thai fashion. Let's start out with a sauce. Have you ever seen palm sugar? I know that it can come in different forms, but this is my favorite way to buy palm sugar. It's like a little tablet. And the best way to attack this thing is not to wait for it to melt, but to just simply grate it. So you grate palm sugar. This little bowl right here is 2 tablets full of just palm sugar that's been grated. So let's start with that. And to that, we're going to add stinky old fish sauce, which turns into something irresistibly delicious. So I'm going to pour equal parts of lime and fish sauce. So go ahead and mix that up with a little spoon until the palm sugar dissolves. And it dissolves because it's been grated so nice and finely. All right, so once that's well mixed, we have a delicious sauce ready. Okay, here is Julienne green mango. What this is a nice hard mango you don't know what to do with. You peel it, you take your microplane, and this has the little grate that makes little Julienne slices, and go ahead and Julienne that mango. And you see you have little tiny thin pieces of green mango. So once you have that, you add in some Julienne pieces of red onion or shallot. And then normally these foods are pretty spicy. So what I'm gonna do is take a Thai chili and just soften it up a little bit. So these are redbird chilies or Thai chilies. And I'm just gonna take the more dull end side of the knife, and I'm just gonna bang it a little bit to really get it going. I'm going to cut it off the stem, cut it in half, and then add it to the salad. I'm going to do that a couple times. So if you want to avoid the really hot part of the salad, obviously just don't bite into the Thai chili. Or if you want the whole salad to be infused with it, go ahead and slice them up really nice and thin by holding the stem, and then you have this really thin little slices. And you can mix them all throughout your salad, or you can do this, which you'll get some seeds, which will add the heat, but you'll avoid eating them if you want to, which is the hottest part. All right, next we're gonna add really important part of this, the cilantro and the mint, just the leaves. I'm just gonna roll them up very casually, like so, and slice them up. This is called a chiffonade, and it makes everything in the world smell and taste even better. Okay, finally we are going to add the fish sauce into the green mango, and you can add all of it because whatever excess there is will end up on the bottom of this. I like to use chopsticks to just kind of stir it around, and then I have some toasted sesame, which we also picked up at the Asian market. So to serve somebody some of this gorgeous salad, put them right in the center. Make sure you have some herbs. If you want to avoid the chilies when serving people, you can do that. Let's pour a little bit of the juice right over and top it with some toasted sesame. And what a beautiful, beautiful, fresh beginning to our mango day. So let's jump right in and make a mango lassi together. So this is about 3 peeled and cut up ripe, very ripe mangoes. And this is something you can also do if you have too many overripe mangoes in your home. Go ahead and make this. We've got some ice, a little bit we're going to throw in there. We've got some Greek yogurt. No flavor, of course, no sugar, no vanilla, because you're going to take away from that delicious mango flavor. The tiniest bit of sugar, that might be about 1 to 2 teaspoons at the very most. A little bit of water to run the blender. And as you see, we're not adding anything that's going to take away the delicious flavor of the ripe mango. Okay, now this is optional, but it's one of my favorite things. After you pour that cold, delicious mango-y beverage into your glasses, you would add a pinch of cardamom right on the top. So I'm going to add just a little pinch for me and maybe none for you. Let's try it out first before you put it on top of your lassi. Salut everybody, come right back. Let's do many more mango recipes. And of course, all of my recipes are always available on the SoFlo Show's webpage. So scan this quick response code. You'll be swept to the fabulous SoFlo Show's page. You'll also see this QRC on the ingredient list throughout the show. Make sure you go up into those little 3 lines. We call them a hamburger line. Up on the left-hand side, it'll give you a little search engine. Look for any recipe you want. You'll always find them as long as I've made them. Come right back for more great mango recipes. See you in a minute.
There's still more from the Goya Kitchen at J.A. World and Michelle.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste and My Mango Show. Mangoes originated over 5,000 years ago in tropical regions extending across Southeast Asia. Around 300 AD, mango seeds made their way west from Asia and happily to this country in the early 1900s, and aren't we glad? Now back to my SoFlo Taste about these well-traveled mangoes. My favorite thing I think I've ever eaten from my mother's hands is when she used to saute fish with mangoes. And if you haven't ever done that before, I suggest you start. We've gotten some beautiful, very fresh flounder from Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Thanks to Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, we have a wonder on this show of beautiful fish, and obviously chickens and ducks, steaks. They're located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. Go to DelawareChicken.com, call them at 954-983-6831. Ask them what they have for that day. You can plan out a gorgeous menu. Go visit them. Tell them I sent you. So I asked them for flounder because I love flounder. It's a very quick cooking fish, so we really have to be ready. So I'm going to season it, and just before I start cooking it, we're going to get everything else ready. So here's the flounder. I peeled and cut up about 1 to 2 mangoes. Some of them are already in my belly, and some of them are still on this cutting board. I like to make this with a little bit of a spice, so I'm just going to cut this pepper in rings. So we'll do nice thin slices of this beautiful red jalapeno. I have a nonstick skillet on about a medium-high heat. We really need everything ready because this is going to be a really fast cook. So we're going to start out with oil, but we're going to finish with butter. So just a little bit of oil for that. Over here I have a little coconut rice, which I'm going to serve with this. It just felt like it went so beautifully, very tropical in style. So I thought it would be delicious. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of butter to start cooking our fish as well. So we've got oil and butter ready to go. So like I said, I already seasoned the flounder. It has salt and pepper on it. If you want to be very fancy, use white pepper so you don't see it. I'm not looking for a ton of color on this, just a little bit golden. before I flip it over. And once we flip over, that's when we start making our sauce. So I'm gonna go ahead and add more butter. This will actually turn brown. The sauce is going to be a brown, like a nutty brown butter sauce. So I'll add 1 more tablespoon of butter. And as it cooks, it will start to caramelize. I'm gonna go ahead and flip the flounder. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and throw the chilies in now because my butter's already starting to brown a little bit. I'm going to add the mangoes in. Okay, the mangoes are just starting to caramelize. I'm going to add a little bit more salt to everything. A little bit of lime, the tiniest bit of water, tiny, just to make it saucy. That was about a tablespoon of water. Now I'm doing a total of 2 tablespoons of butter. I used a half of a tablespoon to get it started, 1 tablespoon to brown, and now I'm adding the last half tablespoon just to make it a nice thicker sauce. Go ahead and shut the heat off and add the tiniest bit of soy. And we're done. So let's gather together a little coconut rice. So we used sticky rice for the coconut rice so that it had that really great texture. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of toasted coconut on it. Let's bring over our gorgeous flounder with mango. How pretty that is. Just go ahead and pour it all right on there. And then to finish, I think this would go beautifully with a little bit of fresh basil. You have some of the heat, of course, you have that brown butter, you have lime, coconut, and then you have beautiful basil. And there you have it. Mommy's, kind of a take off Mommy's fish with mango. We have beautiful mango recipes in another moment, so come right back.
SoFlo Home Project is next, right after SoFlo Taste.
SoFlo Taste will return right after this.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. We're here at JA World in Coconut Creek, a place dedicated to our children. For information about this educational wonderland, go to jasouthflorida.org or call 954-979-7100. Now back to the mangoes. So for my last recipe, of course, I have to finish with a little bit of dessert. I decided to make a mango panna cotta. So to make mango panna cotta, you need mango puree. That's kind of an obvious, right? You just peel some mangoes and make sure you pit them and you throw them into a blender and you puree. But make sure you choose the right mango for a panna cotta because you really want it to be extremely creamy, as sweet as you can. So I love tasting varieties, as we have before us today, of mangoes, and you decide what your sweetest, juiciest mango will be, and perfect for things like either this panna cotta or, like I made earlier, that Mango Lassi, which was delicious, as long as you have the right mango. If they're too fibrous, I suggest you use them in sautéing like we did with the fish. But you know, creamy mangoes are good for everything. All right, so let's jump into this recipe. We're gonna start warming equal parts of milk and cream. If you wanted to just make it out of milk to make it a little lighter, that's fine. And you can also use alternative milk in making your panna cotta. Just make sure when you're warming alternative milk, sometimes they can break if you get them too hot. We're also going to add the sugar to this, and if, again, you're using alternative sugars, I recommend you putting any type of sugar in now so that it can melt. We always leave out a little bit of the panna cotta liquid to bloom the gelatin. So here I have a little bit of very cold milk. Go ahead and add 1 package of gelatin powder into the milk and make sure it's all getting really nice and wet so that it blooms. You have to bloom gelatin in some form of very cold liquid before you add it to the warm liquid so that it melts. It will not work unless you bloom your gelatin. So let that sit for a little bit. The last thing we're going to add to that is the mango puree and the vanilla. You know, you should always add vanilla towards the end of whatever your baking or cooking processes are, because if not, you denature the taste and the smell of the vanilla if you add it in too early into your cooking. Just a little something interesting, a little fact. Vanilla facts. Okay, I thought I would show you something fun while we wait on all this. I'm going to show you the way my son Zach likes to eat a mango. So I cut the very tip off. You take the mango and you make sure that the pit is going this way. Go ahead and cut as close to the pit as you can, straight down. So take your knife and score it. Don't go through the skin, because first of all, you will hurt yourself, and second of all, this will not be as nice. And then turn it around and cut straight lines again to make a score, a perfect crosshatch. And then you just turn it over like so, and you put that on somebody's plate. And instead of having to attack it with a fork, all you have to do is like that. And it's really the perfect way, excuse me everyone, to eat a mango. So if you've never done that before, do it. It's awesome. It's the best way to eat a mango, and I love getting dirty. We are hot here. I can hear it and I can smell it, and now I can see it. So, like I told you, this would bloom, so check this out. Yeah, see that? It's bloomed, it's set. So we need something to scrape this out with. I'm gonna use a little spatula. Go ahead and scrape out the bloomed gelatin. Add it to your warm liquid. Make sure you get every last painful bit out of that bowl. Whisk that around for a couple seconds. It will melt immediately. Then we're going to add our mango. And then we'll add our vanilla. And there you have mango panna cotta. Let me show you what that looks like. What I like to do is really let this sit and cool completely before I pour it. So this is what it looks like. Okay, and this is going to cool, and it won't set up. This will cool to room temperature, and when it becomes room temperature, go ahead and pour it into your favorite little molds. As you see here, I have these little glass jars, and that's my mango panna cotta. What I love about this recipe is the panna cotta is not so stiff that it feels like jello. It is a little softer. It has like a very natural wave to it, a jiggle, if you will. You can actually see the jiggle in this one. So when you come right back, I will show you how to top and serve these beauties and make them even more delicious. So I'll see you in just a couple minutes. I'll finish this recipe right after this. Welcome back to Simple Taste, and of course our mango show. Our panna cottas, as you saw before, are beautiful. So let's make a little topping for the panna cotta. And you know, if you know me at all, you know I have to have a little bit of whipped cream, but look how, I have to say, look how perfectly creamy this whipped cream is. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of whip right on top of each one. Everything should always look as inviting as possible, even if it's just a simple whipped cream topped with little tiny diced pieces of mangoes, like so. You got to use every little bit of these beautiful mangoes while we have them, because we don't have them for very long. I might be a Florida native, but I never get tired of a mango. And look how beautiful this is. I just hope you had fun today. I know I did. Also, I hope you can take some of these mango recipes and make them your own. There are as many recipes for mangoes as there are varieties of mangoes, and luckily we live in a place where we can celebrate this wonderful stone fruit. The last weekend of summer is almost upon us, so join me next week as I look back to give you a collection of some of my best Labor Day recipes. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that some of the recipes require grilling, of course, so join me next week here on SoFlo Taste for recipes with no Labor Day pain. So now let's sneak a peek into what's next on Local 10. Hey Elena, what's up on SoFlo Home Project?
Hi Michelle, good morning. So today we are enjoying resort style living at home. Coming up on SoFlo Home Project, we take a look at a beautifully updated condo inspired by some of the world's finest luxury hotels.
So taste buds again, thanks for watching. I love our time together. So be smart, be safe, and be vaccinated. And I'll see you here next week. Now stay tuned for Elena Capra and SoFlo Home Project. Goodbye, good health, and very good taste. Mango a go-go.